The first thing that hit me was the handwriting. Slanted letters, the little hearts she dotted above her eyes. It was Emily's, no question. I'd seen her write 1,000 times. Grocery lists, notes she left me on the fridge, birthday cards that always ended with, "Forever yours." But this wasn't a grocery list. This wasn't some love note tucked under my coffee mug. This was her diary. And it was open. Wide open on the desk in our bedroom. At first, I thought I'd made a mistake walking in. That maybe it wasn't mine to see. My conscience screamed at me to look away. But then, one line, bold in ink, pulled my eyes in like a magnet. I feel guilty every time I come home to him after being with Daniel. But the thrill is too much to resist. Daniel. The name burned into me. For a few seconds my brain refused to process it. I just stood there, frozen, staring at the words like they were in another language. I told myself maybe it wasn't what it seemed. Maybe she was writing a story. Maybe it was just fiction. But then I flipped the page, and the lie I'd been living unraveled right in front of me. The entries weren't vague. They weren't harmless fantasies. They were detailed. How she met him at a work conference 6 months ago. How he made her feel alive again, in ways I apparently didn't. How she'd sneak off during girls' nights just to see him. Every last little. And the worst part, she wasn't just writing about what they did. She wrote about how she felt about him. The things she used to say to me when we first met. How I made her laugh until she cried. How safe she felt in my arms. How she thought I was the one. Those same words were now in her diary. But for him. For Daniel. I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened like someone had wrapped steel bands around my ribs. I should have slammed the book shut. I should have stormed out, confronted her immediately, demanded answers. But I didn't. I did the one thing I never thought I'd do in my life. I pulled out my phone and took photos. Every page, every word, every date. When she came home that evening, I was sitting on the couch, pretending to scroll through emails. My heart pounded in my throat as she leaned over to kiss me. Her lips soft and familiar. "Hey babe," she said, dropping her purse by the door like she always did. "How was your day?" It was almost comical, the normalcy of it all. Her voice sounded light, casual, like she wasn't living a double life. Like she wasn't betraying me. "Fine," I managed, forcing a smile. "Yours?" She told me about her lunch with Sarah. How traffic was terrible, how she needed a shower. And all I could think was, Sarah wasn't Sarah. Traffic wasn't traffic. It was him. For the next few days I played my part. I smiled, I nodded, I even held her hand at dinner. But inside I was drowning. Every laugh she gave me sounded hollow. Every touch felt like a lie. At night, I'd lie awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while she breathed softly in her sleep. And I'd wonder, was she dreaming about him? Did she imagine it was Daniel's arms holding her, not mine? My mind turned into a torture chamber. On Friday night, everything came to a breaking point. She said she was meeting the girls again. She kissed me goodbye, her perfume lingering, and for a second I almost let her go. But then I remembered the diary entry from 2 weeks ago. "He loves when I wear the red dress. Says it drives him crazy." She was wearing that exact dress. My stomach turned. When the door shut behind her, I grabbed my phone, scrolled through the photos again, and something inside me snapped. I couldn't stay. I couldn't keep pretending. So I packed a bag. One duffel, just the essentials. A few shirts, my laptop, important documents I'd hidden in the study. And then I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the life I was about to walk away from. The framed photos on the wall. Our trip to Paris, her arms around my shoulders, both of us smiling like the world was perfect. The anniversary card she gave me last year, still pinned to the corkboard. Her hairbrush on the dresser, strands of her hair tangled in the bristles. I wanted to smash it all. But I didn't. Instead, I pulled out a notepad and scribbled 3 words. "I know everything." I left it on her pillow. I booked a cheap hotel on the edge of town that night. Sat on the stiff bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the hell my life had spiraled into this. I wanted to call her, to scream at her, to demand she explain how she could look me in the eye every day while sneaking around with someone else. But then my phone buzzed. It was her. "Where are you?" the message read. "I just got home. Why is your stuff gone? What's going on?" I didn't answer. I called. Once. 5 times. Voicemails flooded in, her voice shaky at first, then angry, then panicked. "You're overreacting, babe. Please call me. Can we talk about this? You don't understand. I swear it's not what you think." Not what I think. I had proof. I had her words. In her own handwriting. The next morning she showed up at the hotel. I don't know how she found me, but she did. She knocked on the door until I opened it, her eyes red from crying. "Please just let me explain," she begged, stepping inside. I stood there, arms crossed, my phone in hand. I pulled up one of the photos and held it out to her. Her face drained of color. You weren't supposed to read that," she whispered. "That's your defense." Snap. That I wasn't supposed to find out. Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't supposed to mean anything. Daniel was just, I don't know, a mistake. "I still love you." I laughed. A sharp, bitter sound that didn't even feel like mine. "You don't write this about someone if it's just a mistake. You don't sneak out, lie to my face, and call it love." She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "Please don't throw this away," she pleaded. "We've built so much together. I made a mistake, but we can fix this." "No," I said, my voice breaking. "You threw it away the second you chose him over me." The silence between us was deafening. Finally she dropped her gaze, wiped her eyes, and whispered, "So that's it. That's it." I grabbed my duffel, walked past her, and left her standing in the doorway of that cheap hotel room. It's been months since that night. The divorce papers are in motion. Friends ask what happened, and I give them the short version. She cheated. But the truth is, it was more than that. It wasn't just her body she gave away. It was her heart, her honesty, her trust. Sometimes late at night I still see that diary in my mind. The little hearts above the eyes. The words that cut me deeper than any knife ever could. But then I remember the note I left on the pillow. "I know everything. And for once, I don't feel like the fool anymore. Feel free."